We might just have to buy some teal pillows for this couch.
I know.
And
so
that might actually set it up. That actually might do it. That's what we'll do. We'll just get some teal and black on the gray couch. I think that'll work. That might do it for us.
Because we do have a teal couch upstairs.
Yeah, but it's just not a great setup. We're not bringing that couch down. No.
So we'll figure it out.
What's good?
Hey, y'all.
Happy Monday to you. It's good to have you back here at the Incubators Couch. Unscripted, vulnerable conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners just like you. But listen, we are Composition LLC, web design and video production firm. We do it all. From the web design perspective, creativity and quality composed, man, listen, we are a one-stop shop for all your web needs, man. If it's maintenance, if it's consulting,
if you need your domain, if you need hosting,
security,
we do it.
Buy the domain name, hosting, all of the above. And we're looking for clients. I know we don't say that often, but we are looking for clients. And some of you guys who are watching, you are our target market.
Yeah. Are you a small business owner?
Listen.
Are you an entrepreneur?
That's right. And secondly, listen, we're just giving you some time to kind of get in. We know that some of you are just now getting a chance to get the notification and get yourself right. But on the other side of the business, we do video marketing. This is the phrase. Let's build your brand with live video. I'm going to say it again. Let's build your brand with live video. Live video, man, can help you grow and engage an audience, establish yourself as a thought leader, and and create steady streams of referral-based opportunities. If that sounds like you, then we want to help you with live video. Would love to be able to chat it up with you, see what you got going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to put it out there, let people know, look, this is what Composition is all about. And we do have a live show called Incubators Couch.
Proof of concept, y'all.
Full proof of concept. Full proof of concept. Everything you're going to see here today. But man, with that said, we want to get right into our host rant. This show is made up of a couple of different segments. We want to welcome you right now.
Yes.
And then we have our host rant. That's where we get a couple of things off of our chest.
We get to vent a little bit, share, commiserate with y'all.
That's why we call it the Incubators Couch.
Small business owners, and you had some, some hard times at being a business owner. So
you got some clientelas out there.
Yes, the host rant is for that.
That's what it's about. So we go down our host rant, and then we want to give you the resource of the week. And for a lot of times we give you some tools, some platforms, something that's free. But sometimes we want to give you some, some training, give you some tips, tricks, best practices, resource of the week. And then we have our Incubator Spotlight. Usually whoever we have as a guest, we spotlight their business because we want to make sure you guys know what they do, what they are, how you can, find them, follow them. And then we have our therapy session. Yeah.
I thought favorite part of the show, the therapy session, where they get to share a story of an experience that they've had with a client that didn't go so well. But what did they learn from it?
Or it did go well, and what did they learn from it? But the therapy session, that's the couch session. That's where you kick back, you put your feet up, and you say, "Hey, doc, man, this is what I was thinking about. When my mom said that to me when I was 2, it manifested
so
in this
what
way."
Happened.
But fam, that's what it's all about. With that said, you've got the lay of the land. You might be new here, but now you understand what it's all about, who we are, and how we're going to host you. And with that said, let's get into our host rant. I always have to remind myself that when we come out of the host, the host rant bumper, can't come out of that thing happy. We got to come out of that thing upset and pissed off and angry and fuming. Because, man, let me tell you something, man. When you buy something, like let's say you buy something from IKEA. We were talking about IKEA the other day, right?
Yeah, we were. There's
none in Huntsville. Very upset about the fact that IKEA, if you're listening, North Alabama, okay?
Come to Huntsville.
Real talk. We need you. Anyway, but we're talking about IKEA, and one of the things we're talking about is like, man, the phenomenal instructions that come with everything that you buy.
Oh my goodness! Because if you buy something from IKEA, you're putting it together. Yeah. It's not coming all ready to go. You're going to have to read those instructions and put it together.
Put that thing together.
And if you don't put it together right.
If you don't follow the instructions.
Don't follow the instructions.
If you don't follow the instructions. Listen, you may actually end up where you want to be, but you will never fully know if it was put together correctly if you didn't follow the instructions.
Exactly.
That's those two sides of it. So yeah, if you don't follow the instructions, you may actually, crash and burn. Or you may actually get to a finished product, but you won't have certainty that it was right.
Yep.
Because you didn't follow the instructions. Why are we saying this to you?
Because as a client or business owner, we're going to talk from both sides. Yeah. If you do not follow instructions.
Instructions.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So, practical example. I send instructions to a client to do this, then this, then this, then this. Because if you don't do this, then this, you're not going to be able to get to the end goal. And said client responds to me saying, "Oh man, I did the thing, but I'm seeing this and I can't get past this to get to this." But I'm like, "But did you follow this, then this, then this?" Their response is, "Oh, it's working now. It's working now. Yeah, it's working."
What is that about as well? Why can't people say, "Oh, I didn't follow the instructions"? Nobody wants to say that. That's like a whole other case study that needs to be done.
For real.
Nobody wants to say the term, "You know what? I didn't bother following the instructions.
No.
That's my bad. That's on me.
I just did my own thing.
I did my own thing." They'll just come back and be like, "Hey, it's working now. I don't know what happened." No. We all know what happened. You didn't
follow instructions. You did not follow instructions.
You didn't follow instructions? No, you didn't follow instructions. You did it. You just want. "Oh, I don't know what happened." No, we know what happened. Anyway, this is the rant part. This is the part of this is the part where I'm getting something off my chest. Talk to me in the chat, y'all. Don't believe me by myself. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure you guys have experienced it.
Put a 2 in the chat. If you've ever had a client that did not follow instructions and then came back on some, "I'm not certain what happened, but it's working now." Like magic. The blessing of the Lord just touched it and all of a sudden it's working now. So yeah, I should see some 2s in the chat.
We should. Yeah. See plenty of 2s.
Plenty of 2s.
I'm sure.
Come on
that
with it.
gets under my skin so much.
We have a really cool
resource of the week.
Cool resource of the week, but we have a really great guest with us today, and so we're gonna move right through the rest of the program, trying to get you to the therapy session. But let me tell you something, man. If you are a business owner, follow your instructions. Follow your instructions and give clear instructions. If you are a client, please, by all means, try to follow the steps. There are reasons as businesses and owners that why we put these things out there in the way that we do, just like they do at IKEA. We want you to get to the end product the right way and have confidence that it was done correctly.
That chair that you put together from IKEA is going to hold you up.
That is going to hold you up.
Down.
Oh my goodness. Follow the instructions, fam. All right, let's get into resource
of the week.
Yeah. We're doing a little different. This is what happens when you mess your stuff up. I'm at the last slide. And I got to go back, and I don't even have a way to go back. This is terrible.
Yeah.
How do I go back? We did test
this before we even started. We just didn't go back.
Nah, we didn't go back. So what are we gonna do now?
So if we can remember, well, we can.
Yeah, I'm gonna just get up.
Yeah, just give us a second, y'all. This is how it goes, y'all. We gonna figure it out. Don't worry about it. We gonna figure it out. There we go. And
that wasn't too painful.
These things happen.
That wasn't too painful. That's how you know it's live.
A live show. It happens. And y'all gonna be okay.
Oh my gosh. All right. So thank you for bearing with us. Resource of the week. We're doing a little different this week.
Yes.
And we're doing a Discovery Call 101.
Discovery Call 101.
Discovery Call 101. Resource of the week. Now you may be wondering, who is this for? Is this for the person being discovered or the person doing the discovering? It doesn't matter. We want to give you tips, tricks, best practices for both.
On both sides.
Or from both perspectives. Whether you are the business owner, the entrepreneur,
or the client.
You want to come prepared.
Come prepared. Like, do not go to the meeting not having a clear idea of what you want to accomplish in that meeting. So come prepared. And when you're come prepared as a client, make sure you're actually ready to actually move forward.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste the business owner time. Make sure you're prepared. You're ready to move forward.
Come prepared. I can't even go come prepared. Make sure you come prepared. Secondly, you want to listen. Oh my word. These whether you are, I want to say this to the business owners first. You have somebody that has gone through your entire process to find where you have your discovery call and book it. You, my friend, need to be on that call about 5 minutes early.
I agree.
You need to be waiting for them.
Not the opposite.
Not the other way around. This is your literal first impression with that client. You want to be on time.
You want to be on time.
Okay. Now, for all the clients out there,
show up.
On time.
Do not show up to the meeting 10 minutes late and still expect to get that whatever allotted time that was. No, you're going to get the rest of that time. You're going to get the rest of the time,
and that's it. Just keep in mind that this is one of the reasons why we wanted to share this in this particular way in terms of resource of the week, because it's free. Most, if not all, discovery calls that you will book with a business, it's free.
That's true.
And so whether you are a business to business or a client to business, it's free. Don't squander that. Yeah. It is not free for the person who is giving you their time. It's not free. It's not free as a business owner to the client. It's not free for them. It's not free for you. So you want to be punctual. You want to show up on time. Yep. You want to have there's nothing worse than just showing up there and be like, hey, so
what are we here for?
What are we doing?
No. Have a checklist, because you don't want to ever go to a meeting on either side. And then realize that, oh crap, I forgot to go over this thing.
Come on, y'all.
Because that first discovery call is free. The next one may not be.
Bruh.
It might be like, you need to book a 30-minute.
And I think, what was it, Neville we had on the show, and it's from the discovery call that someone was able to leave and refer his business, even though they never booked him.
That's true. Yeah.
So as a business owner, you want to know, okay, if somebody's booking me for a discovery call, I need them to leave knowing these things. Have your checklist. I need you to leave with these things. You now know, okay, this is what they do. And if they don't have need of that, that's okay.
Yeah.
But now they know, and they can be a mouthpiece out there for you.
Yep.
But as a client, you come to a discovery call, you should have your non-negotiable items that you're looking for in a service provider.
Yes.
Whether you're looking for a web designer, you're looking for a videographer, you're looking for a photographer, you're looking for whatever, right? Whatever that business might provide, you should know what your non-negotiables are and make sure you have that list so that when you speak with them during this discovery call, it's like, boom, they meet my checklist. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. That's good. That's good.
And then that last one, fam.
Leave with clarity.
Clarity.
Leave that meeting with both of you understanding what the objectives are after you leave that meeting.
Come on.
Like, be very clear of what your expectations are on both sides.
Expectations for the potential engagement, but also what are next steps.
Yes.
If, say, we decide to move forward, how do we do that? Who's going to be sending the follow-up message? Is it the business owner? Am I sending a follow-up with some things for you to check out so that you can make a decision? I know for me, a lot of times I have to send them, here's what a sample stream package looks like. Here's what, some of our work looks like. Here's some of our portfolio. Some of them have seen that beforehand. Some of them haven't. But there are a lot of times in the discovery call, there'll be things that I'll say, well, you might want to do this or this. And I'll send them an affiliate link to buy said thing. So I'm always sending a follow-up for every discovery call that I have.
Yeah.
But you want to leave with clarity. Leave with what are my next steps? I am typing my follow-up email in the discovery call.
Yep. Taking clear notes so that you can then go back and type that email up and send it off.
Yes. Leave with clarity. Yeah. Leave with clarity so that you can move on to the next step. Fam, that's Discovery Call 101. That's your resource for the week. We hope that it was meaningful for you. We did a presentation a week or two ago on how to know if you're ready to be an entrepreneur, and that was wildly successful. Has probably the most views. So we wanted to kind of incorporate that back in during our resource of the week section. We hope that it's going to be useful to you. So now we're ready to spotlight an incubator, and then after that we'll have our therapy session. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Carla Stiles from Designed by Carla, and one of my favorite things I like to say is consistency is powerful. So we understand that marketing can be a confusing term when investing in your online business, and finding your niche can be complex in the crazy marketing world, and social media consistently changes. We understand that frustration on finding individuals interested in your product and services using basic concepts. Yet when your website becomes static and you stop investing time and commitment in that comprehensive marketing approach, this is the moment where you evolve your business. And that's where we start elevating your business by creating custom solutions and blend that strategy plus that creative marketing technique to develop and target your audience in a crowded marketplace so that they remember who you are and what you do. Now, we have over 25 years of digital marketing experience. We are specialized in SEO development and website work, and we have built companies from very small businesses to growing them into large international clients. But it takes time to do that. It takes time and investment back into their business to do those things over the years. So thank you so much. I really appreciate the years that I've developed and produced and developed clients over the years so that they can match their marketing goals, and so they're not scrambling to figure it out, so that we have that privilege of establishing and contributing to the digital marketing industry. Again, you can find us on Designed by Carla, that's www.designedbycarla.com, or you can find us on social media platforms such as Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Google. So thank you so much. See you soon.
Man, we always love having incubators come through. This time is no different than any of the others. Go ahead and introduce our guests.
Well, we have this week Carla Stiles. And the first time I met Carla, we just clicked because we are in the same field and we have the same struggles. So that was one way of us connecting. And she's just awesome. She does a lot in the community. Don't be shy. She does. Like, I went to the Women Honoring Women.
Oh.
This lady created the logo.
Come on.
Yes. Did you create the site too?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did all the above.
I do all of the video
Oh.
and
Come
all
on,
the
y'all.
presentations and
Come on.
galleries. I do it all.
Because that
She
I
does
I
it
only saw the
all.
clips from what Kanique showed.
Yes,
And it was phenomenal.
she
Yes,
does
thank
graphic
you.
design. She does all that.
Yeah.
So she is awesome.
Oh,
I love her. She's
thank you so
great.
much.
She's
How
really
are you
good.
today?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
actually honored to be on your show.
We're
it's
excited
so
to have you.
sweet. I think.
And I need to come on your podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
Remind me to set
Yeah,
that date.
she needs to come on, not
because
me.
you need to
She.
come
No, I want to
Because
say
she does
this.
have a podcast.
One or two of we have what it's an unfair advantage that the two of them have because several of you who are out there are also web designers as well. So we
Yeah.
know. I think was
Yes,
it Deborah
Deborah is also a
a web
designer.
designer. Several others part of the Incubators fam are web designers. So we want to say a word of welcome. We got another one of your cohorts with us today.
Yes.
We're excited to hear all that you have to say. So they saw the video.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got a chance to get a little bit of what you do, but just share a little bit more. You know what? So you talked about some of the things you did for
Yeah.
Women Honoring Women, but what
What
are
else?
those services and things that you guys do in your business?
Well, I the one things that I like doing is I tell clients a lot of times because I've been doing it for so long is I like taking their business and breaking it apart like in little pieces and then putting it back together.
Nice.
Yeah, because I think that sometimes there's so many holes in it that I don't think they realize that there's pieces that they're missing out. And so it's my job to see those holes and fill it with things that they should be doing. Because they'll think about, oh, I'll go spin an ad on this advertisement. And I'm like, whoa. You're not ready. Or, why are you putting your money in that budget? But it's me to offer that advice, but it's all about, will they take it?
Will they take it?
Will they take it?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's such a great conversation. It's like, just trust me. Because a lot of times, it's like you have to prove yourself over and over. In this
again.
business, you have to prove yourself. Even after 25 years, you
Yes,
have to
you
prove
do.
it
My,
over
my,
and
my,
over
my.
and over and over again.
If you agree with what Carla is saying right now, go ahead and put a 5 in the chat. All right? If you feel like you've had to prove yourself, even though you're a veteran, if you feel like you've had to prove
Yep.
yourself over and over again, go ahead and put a 5 in the chat. I should see some 5s in there. I'm gonna probably put a 5
Yeah,
as well.
I'm putting a 5.
In fact, there are some clients that even want to tell you how to do what you
you're
do.
doing. And we've
That's
talked
a whole
about
nother
that.
thing.
We have.
Well, I'm going to totally agree with that. I
Yeah.
think now that because back in the day when we first started out, I mean, you and I both, we talked about it. We're programmers.
Yeah.
So we started out as programmers.
Programmers. Oh, wow.
We built
HTML,
computers,
all that.
everything we did everything from scratch. We coded every single
Wow.
website that came out. We learned our programs really on our own. There
Wow.
was no school.
There
No,
was no.
no.
There wasn't no
there
program
wasn't a degree
books.
for that.
Adobe was not like, here's the book. You
Yeah,
learn
yeah.
it.
It
You
wasn't
just
even
learn by
YouTube,
doing.
right? I mean, it wasn't even YouTube
I
at
was
that
before
point.
Google.
Wow.
So think
wow.
about that. I mean, so the transition in our industry has changed so much, but the same aspect of the design of your business is still the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
The
very true.
model of movement in the digital marketing world is still the same today. They
wow.
don't care how many times they change the words or add more fluffy words
Yep.
in it. And you're like, what is mofo and boofo? And I mean, come on, stop. So they make it more and more complicated. I
Yeah.
think they confuse the consumer more, and it's really up to us as marketing people to consistently explain it to
Translate
them.
that.
And they
Break
don't
that
even
thing
understand
down.
it. And
Yeah.
we're data people. Like we are like we're the technical people because we learn all the technical things in the
Come
background.
on.
Yep.
I love that.
So we used to build servers and the
Yeah.
hostings and we know
Listen,
it
you're,
from
you're in my lane now.
Right,
There's
yeah,
servers
yeah. DNS
come on.
and all that
Yes,
stuff, you know.
yes,
And you'd be
yes.
surprised how many people think, "Oh, she's just marketing; she doesn't know this stuff." And I'm like, "Let me show
I
you."
got you.
You know what I mean? Let me
The
just
underestimated
slow
piece
down.
is-
They're slick. Yeah, slow down.
That's
I got
something.
you.
That is something right there. The underestimated piece. I never thought about that. But also, you know, I love the history you're giving as well in terms of some of the trends in the industry and understanding those ebbs and flows and how you can get ahead of them. But one of the things I hear you saying very clearly, and I want to make sure that somebody catches this. Sometimes, you know, you have to actually tell them that this is the golden nugget right here. This is it, right? And that is, if you are in business for whatever you're in business for, you're probably not a marketer. All right. I'm just assuming that that's not your thing. That's not your bag. That's not your expertise. Why you went into business is what you wanted to provide to your
Yes.
audience, to those who want to consume whatever it is you are putting out. Let a marketer help you.
Exactly.
I mean, and it's not just from the perspective of a marketer. I mean, I just feel like in business, you do need to understand what's your lane and what's not.
Yeah, what's
I mean,
your
if you're,
strengths and what's
yeah,
not
yeah,
your
yeah. Like we're
strengths.
not reconciling the bank account. We're not.
No.
No. We're not doing that stuff. That's not our bag. That's not our expertise. Not our gifting. So you bring somebody in and recognizing in business when it's time to okay. Yeah, I was hustling at first, but now we're a business, and I want to be able to kind of set things up in a way that allows me to focus on what is essential, what no one else can do but me. And I think that's a real huge distinction in business that you have to make as well.
Well, I mean, we could sit here probably a good hour or two just really
Easily.
discussing the aspect of there's a line that gets crossed in where we're at, where we started out, and then where we're at today in marketing. And I think a lot of times that we're giving them a lot of opportunity to learn things about us, but also it questions everything that we do too. Because we have to have the foresight. We have to stay ahead of the curve.
Yes,
we have
we
to
do.
stay ahead of the marketing. We have to say, I mean, Google constantly changes. I don't know about you.
Constantly.
But I mean, the struggle's real with G4. I mean, you know, I don't know about you, but I had really customized dashboards and I could look at my data pretty quick. And now it's like I got to go start all over again. Thank you, Google.
Yes.
We appreciate you.
So many sites. Go back,
Oh my
change
goodness.
this. Oh my
G4 is a whole, in the content creator space as well, it is a mess.
Yes.
But man, these are definitely some things. I know you had said something earlier about, you know, kind of the differences between a business and an entrepreneur. And a lot of our
touch
audience
that.
is fledgling, right? They're just starting out. Some of them probably still working the 9 to 5. And so they fit squarely into that side hustler space, pseudo entrepreneur, solopreneur kind of space, but they're looking ahead as well. I think that's one of the draws that they have because we bring people on who are so seasoned in business like you. So talk to that point for a second before we get into, you know, our therapy, our story session.
So
All right.
the story is that when I started out, I was side hustling and I was working a corporate job starting out web design work. This is way before Google was really established and SEO was even a word at the time. And I ended up I had a little girl and then I found out I was pregnant with twins. And then it was like, okay, decision time of do I do this full time? Do I go work a 40-hour job a week and go and pay just babysitting at the time? Because, you know, you have to make the fork in the road was, do I do this? And so I was doing some work on the side to make extra income. And then my father interjected. He was an entrepreneur by heart. And he was definitely an original.
Got it.
You know, one of those that could take a business and move it as fast as you can get it in his hands. And so his advice was, he called me up one day and he says, "What are you doing with your life?" And I said, "What do you mean?"
I love those calls.
I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Why are you wasting it going back to work full time?" And I said, "Well, I mean, Dad, what do you want me to do?" I said, "I'm trying to get them to let me work from home." This is before working from home was
a
cool.
thing. Yes.
I had an office in my dining room area near my kitchen so that I could be out where I can watch my children at the time.
Yeah.
And people would tell me, "Go get a real job.
Wow.
You know, you're crazy. Why do you have an office at home?"
Wow.
This is way, way, way before it was cool to even be a female in this industry.
Very true.
There wasn't a lot of females in this
Very
industry,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
I
were
know.
in a male-dominated field. So you constantly, not only did you have to prove that you could balance it, but you could also balance being a full-time mother. You know, because I got to the point where I was cleaning all the time, going, "Why am I not getting my work done?"
Yes, because you're cleaning.
I'm not being productive. And so I had to you figured those things out
Yeah.
by learning and adjusting and things like that.
Absolutely.
So I quit my full-time job and went feet first in. And I was like, what in the world was I thinking? I prayed every single day there was a check in the mail. I barely could, you know, and I did just enough at that time. Back in those first 5 to 10 years I was in business, I did just enough to feed my children, keep my house right, pay my bills. And I never really went out and networked. I did not, you know, because I was busy trying to be a mom and trying to balance. So the balance of that was really difficult for me. And then I realized that I was missing out opportunities by not going out and network. So I learned how, when we transferred here after getting transferred from Nebraska, I was like, well, I got to redo this model.
Yeah.
So I think the difference between is that you know, the struggle's real. So you count every year as success.
There it is.
Every year you count back and go, okay, this is success. Even after 20 something years of being in it, I go, oh my gosh, I'm still here.
Another year.
Another year's come on. And then you're like, okay, I did this.
Okay,
I'm all right.
That's right.
I don't have, but now I'm in that pivotal moment in my life where I'm like, I don't have anything to prove anymore. And maybe the people that are in it are not supposed to be there anymore.
Very true.
And so you have to listen and learn from your intuitions of like, okay, what's good for me and what's good for my business.
Right.
But there is a difference between an entrepreneur and a business owner.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay. So a business owner, they understand the trials and the problems and the success and the ups and downs. An entrepreneur that's going into it, sometimes they go in it thinking this is what's going to happen for me. And you are like, the goal is in front of you, but how hard it is to get there sometimes is the hardest part, right?
Yeah.
And like, it is giving up your weekends, it's giving, sleepless nights,
Come on.
getting up in the middle of the night going, oh my gosh, I forgot to do something. Or I screwed something up. So you have to accept the failures.
That is so
with the success, because you are going to fail.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the problem with a lot of entrepreneurs is they give up before they even tried.
Yep.
Come on.
And so businesses, they don't, if you can get through those hardships, you're going to continuously run the roller coaster. You're going to ride it up. You're going to go down. You're going to ride it up. You're going to ride it down.
Yep.
And you need to know how to ride it and accept the fact that there's going to be some things that are going to be good days. And there's going to be bad days.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have to suck it up, buttercup, sometimes. But it's all good. I mean, after I made the commitment of I wanted to be home with my children to do my business, and I met that goal. So now all my kids are in college, and I'm
That's awesome.
Congrats on that. Like,
right.
Yeah, like there should be some
I didn't
clap
miss
emojis
out on
in the chat right
anything.
now.
I worked my weekends.
Wow.
That's a major, and I think
is.
that's a one of those things where you kind of have to trace back to what's that why, right?
Yes.
Why did you go into business in the first place? And I think when you keep that clear in mind, as this is my laser focus, I want to be able to do these things. Like I got a chance to go to the volleyball game because I work for myself.
Yep.
Otherwise, I would not be at our daughter's volleyball games at all.
You'd be
because
stuck at work,
I would
working.
still be at work.
There was a couple times that I would take naps in my car while my children were at soccer practice.
Oh, yeah.
And I know I felt bad because I felt like I was missing something, but at some point in time I was like, okay, I gotta have a break, mental break,
right?
And but I'm here.
But and that's what I was
But I
going
was
to say.
present.
But you're here.
I'm here. I was here.
Yeah.
But then in the back of my mind, I'm like sitting there going, okay, I gotta do this, and this, and this, and this, and then you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I also knew when to cut it off.
Yeah.
And you
But
have
you
to
gotta
know
learn that.
when to cut it off.
That's good.
You've got to keep that in your mind.
Wow. Let me tell you, there's so many nuggets of wisdom here. I almost forgot that this was an interview.
Yes.
We're just kind of chatting at this point. I was about to ask something else. I was like, oh, hold on.
There was a purpose for the podcast.
No, we brought you here to hear some horror story. But I just don't want anybody to miss. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. And one of the things I love about what you shared is you realize you were missing opportunities when you weren't networking. I want to kind of quantify that, balance that seesaw real quick. It's not just opportunities for more business, but opportunities to expand and grow, expand your thinking, expand your network, expand your offerings. I mean, sometimes it's only in having conversations with others you start to realize, like, actually, I could do that. Probably need to be doing that too. And I actually have been doing that for a long time, right? And so it's just a matter of kind of hearing from others who aren't as close to it as you are. Sometimes literally just having this conversation right now, you start to kind of think, well, I probably could be doing some different things.
Yeah.
So in your business, you want to make sure you have these spaces, and we hope that the Incubators Couch can be a space where you are able to kind of have that moment as well. So engage with us in the comments a little bit. Let us know some of the things that you've been thinking about for your business. Now,
we are ready for the story. We are ready.
But because 25 years, first of all.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Right?
Thank
Right?
you.
Congrats on that. That's
is
serious.
amazing, yeah.
That's
Well, I
serious.
mean, come on. You have to look at yourself too, because when you look at your life and the people that are in it,
Absolutely.
right? And the people that you network, when we just talked about networking, it's not about just getting the business. It's like making those connections and people that you want in your circle.
That's
Yes.
It's
That's
the
it.
circle.
That's big.
And you don't want to just waste time. Now, I'm more like this. If it doesn't fit if my interest is not peaked in like 5 seconds, I'm moving on to something else. It's not, and you have to finesse it. You have to finesse it over years. Never waste time, because that's also production time.
Ooh.
And there's a difference between non-productive and productive time. And you've got to distinguish those two. You got to set your own rules for that.
That's it right there.
gold.
My gosh, that's gold.
You're giving away too much.
No, you got to set those boundaries. You got to create those spaces, man. And I'll tell you right now, I can't tell you how many times I'm like, man, you walk away from a conversation, you're like, I have zero interest
Yeah.
And I
None
just,
whatsoever.
that was like 2 hours.
I've
of
gotten to the
wasted
point where
time.
if it's someone that if it's not an interest for me, I go, hey, I know this person.
Yeah.
Because
That is a good way
that's the
of-
way to
yes.
go, hey, this person over
Yes.
here, or I can connect you with this person.
Yeah.
I think that we should be a conduit for that. And
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because sometimes in tenfolds it'll come back.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people will ask me like, well, what do you do? I'm like, a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Yep.
Pick my brain
Yep,
and you'll
yep,
know more.
Yep. Get to know me a little more.
Get to let me know. Yes.
But no, in 25 years of business, you have had a plethora of clients, and we would only imagine that they span the gambit, right? From
Yes.
good,
Good to-
terrible,
yeah.
and indifferent, run of the mill, your everyday client, your long term client, your one off, the ones that you hope come back, the ones you pray never come back. So share with us.
Yes.
Just one of those stories. And again, at the Incubators Couch, one of the things we really like to hone in on is, of course, the story, because we commiserate.
Yeah.
But secondly, what are some of the things that we learned from
Yeah.
that?
You learn a lot, and you also learn where you particularly want to put your energies in. And you realize that over the years of doing what you do, you cannot be everything to everyone.
That's exactly.
And no matter how we say we want to be I want to be a, one-stop shop. That is something that I thought about doing. And then I realized that is not what I wanted to do. My heart was just like, that's not where I want to go anymore. And so then there's some limits of like, how much more am I going to give in this one area of marketing that I want to be in. And a lot of times, like, people go, well, you're the social media, you know a lot about social media. Well, I know a lot about digital marketing.
There you go.
I know a lot about SEO, and I know how to look at your competitors, and I know how to look at your marketing initiative and like combine those things. And I could probably talk tech, right?
Yeah.
The problem is it's taking that tech and turning it into a liaison. However, the problem is that a lot of times, like this client that I just fired, actually I told him I quit. And
I love that.
I love that phrase, by the way.
time I said I quit.
The firing
I love
piece.
that. The
I love
firing
that.
part.
Yes.
The firing part, and I give people the benefit of the doubt, but after so many years of dedicating so much time, and you see their business growing, but the budget stays the same, and they want more, and then they don't want
They
to
don't
invest
pay for
more.
that, yeah.
You have to go, okay, where is my limit? Because am I being used for my knowledge?
Right.
Am I being used for my techniques?
Yeah.
So that you benefit and you grow, but I stay the same.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I recently, and I actually fired him one time other, and he called me up and begged me to come back.
back.
And I gave him another chance, and I was like,
Mercy.
I shouldn't have done that. But I was in that stage where before that happened, I was in this transitional stage where I did not know at that time, years ago, where I wanted my business to go.
Okay.
So I accepted him back. And then recently it was like, I can't take, and then it wasn't just him calling me and ranting, I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, I can't help Google, did some things that put us at mercy, what I mean? Like, we got to figure this out, because we always have to be on. Marketing people, like us, have to be on all the time. And the calls that you get sometimes from your clients is like, there could be a negative impact that really, like, I am figuring it out. I'm already on top of it, but you just don't know it.
Yeah.
And then it's question after question after question after question. I'm like, just slow down. I can't make it work any faster, but I am working on it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
And I don't think a lot of clients realize that when it comes to Google, especially SEO, it needs time. And a lot of people want things done right now. They
And
want to see results right now, but it takes time.
Yeah. And when you think about the transition of that, and then you've also got, the fact that you're trying to change some things internally, it's all there, the impact of that. Then you've got social media, like
Because they're
Facebook
always changing
and
things
Instagram.
too.
And
Yep.
I mean, we know that LinkedIn is probably your best organic reach out there besides YouTube.
Yeah.
We know that. But then the client doesn't understand, why is people not liking my pages? Why I'm not. But if you're getting reservations in, like this one client, he was getting the amount of reservations he was getting on a daily basis. People would beg for that kind of.
Yeah.
Right.
He doesn't realize
So if you got 4 or 5 reservations in one day, and it adds up to
That's
hundreds,
good, sir.
hundreds of reservations, and that's business you built over the years. And we were talking about 10 years of business that I've been doing work for him.
Wow.
And it was just like, well, we're not making our budget. I can see your reservations. I can see what they're reserving. So either that, you're not close. My job was being successful. Is your site up and running well? Is it positive? Number one.
Boom,
Is
boom.
it your social media engaging?
right.
Number two. Is your analytics up to par? Number three.
There
Is
you
your
go.
digital marketing pay per
Come
click
on,
doing?
come on.
Yes, it is. So when all of those things are backed up with the data, but the client's going, "Hey, this doesn't make any sense." Excuse me, sir, you're not closing your deals.
Yeah, that's on you.
That is all on you.
I love that. It's not, we don't guarantee the business. We can guarantee that there will be referral based opportunities.
Yes.
What you make of the opportunities, however,
That's
is
on you.
totally on you. That's so good. Oh my word, that is so good.
Wow.
And again, I love the freedom that we give here in this space to fire a client. You know? I did not know that this was a thing. You know, even up to a year ago, I didn't know this was a thing. You know, but
you don't have to sit and take
you
it
don't
and
have
deal
to
with
sit
that
and take
difficult
it.
client. You have the power to say, "Okay, I'll call it quits.
Yeah.
You're free to go."
It's hard to though.
It is.
It's hard. And
It
I mean,
is.
I'll
It's
be
not as
honest
easy
with
as it
you.
sounds.
It's hard to do it. One is that if you're depending on that income to pay your bills, then what you do is you go out and find a client that will, kind of
Yeah,
replace
cover
that
that,
income,
yes.
and then you can fire that client.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
want to load balance
Yeah.
where possible. But you know, especially for if it's not your bread and butter client, right? Because there are those clients where it's like, man, if we lose this one, we need to rethink some
true.
things.
Yes.
But if they're not that one, then there is a lot of latitude that you have in terms of, you know, if they are difficult.
Yeah. But I can tell you this, what is really incredible about it's not, now I did send him an email telling him why I quit. And I did get backlash for that.
I'm not surprised.
Yes. And then there was things he said that it was just so disrespectful that I knew that I made the right
decision.
choice.
Yep.
But I told him, I said, no matter what I did for you as a client, you were never satisfied.
Ever.
And so after that many years of investing in your business and in your marketing, I was limited in budget. I was limited in making any money. But however, the one thing I can say is that when you think that the door is closed, a window does open.
Come on.
Other opportunities do come your way, and it gives you room to expand and understand where you should be in your business.
That's
Yes.
good.
And
That's
then
good.
you change that level of like, I'm going to do these things.
things now.
And this is where I need to be at.
Yeah.
Because then those people respect you for
Yes.
it. It's hard to see it in the beginning. Believe me, I've been blind before. I've been disrespected in this industry. When I was in this, especially when I was a girl in this industry in the beginning, there was comments that were made.
Mercy.
And you go, okay, I'm going to prove you wrong. And the more you keep saying, I'm going to keep proving it. And I did. And I look back and go, wow, I've been here how many years now? And I'm still thankful. You wake up every day as an entrepreneur or a business owner. And business owners, we wake up every day going, do I have a job today? Do I have clients calling me? Is my phone calls going to come through? And the secret to that success is to keep moving, keep grooving,
One foot in front of the other.
one in front of the other.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Forward focused, as fail forward. There's so many different, terms for that. But I love the way you frame that, and I love the history of it, that you've been through so many different iterations of
Yes.
this industry,
Yeah.
your industry in particular. But I think it's something for others to see and hear as well, because there will be others like our daughter and others who will come behind and say, oh, because Kanique and Carla did it, I can do it as well.
too.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's more of legacy items that you can have. But I mean, honestly, there should just be a whole club of people who have been able to have a viable business for 25 years. That should be a thing. Like there
Yeah.
should be a badge, like
Yeah.
a 25 years. Like a
I should have a
mark or-
cake. I
Yeah.
just want cake and ice cream. That's all I want. Just give me some cake and ice cream, and I'll be fine.
Oh man, that is.
I see some people, I'm like, oh, and I get it. I mean, I understand that every year is a remarkable year, but
Yeah.
did I celebrate that? Probably not. I think I was behind the scenes a lot of times. And there was years where I didn't even have a website. I kind of hid behind my logo. And it wasn't cool to be in front of a video and tell our story. It was work and take care of your kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
And do your job. And if they were succeeding, you were succeeding. So you don't always get the pat on the back that you expect.
Yeah.
These days, it's like, ooh, give you a high five.
Nowadays, it's so
it has
yes,
changed. It has
definitely
changed. It has changed. But I
It's
mean,
changed.
from a technology perspective and a media perspective, marketing perspective, it has completely
It
changed.
has.
And COVID has kind of upended a lot of people's ideas and thoughts and priorities around some of the things that we do as well. So it's been interesting to see, because I left formal employment right as COVID was like ramping up.
Yes.
And it was like, fishing with dynamite. It was just, it was,
and I've heard some people
crazy.
do that. Like they
Yeah.
jump both feet into the fire. And sometimes taking those risks, like I did, think about that back then. And
back then it was.
It was like, it was such a risk, because what I could do, I was working for Freedom Communications, and we design and maintain their newspapers online, but we also did website design on the back end. This is right when it was fresh and people started to really kind of start doing it more and more and more. And I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. I'm going to start doing this on the side. And you just never know until you dabble into it.
Yeah.
But you got to want to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't just do it and go, I'm going to make some money. You have to have a different kind of mindset of like, I want to do this because I love doing it.
Right.
You got to have the
Exactly.
passion and
Passion
drive
for
for it.
Yeah.
Yes, I
yeah.
totally
That's
agree.
that is one of those intangibles.
I think that's what makes you stay in it longer.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have it connected. Carla, talk to us about some of the things you got coming up. It sounds like, you've been
got
in
a
this,
few things
you've
going
got
on.
so much going on. We've already heard about your number one business, but there, it sounds like you got a
The
couple other
side
things.
hustle.
You alluded to a podcast as
I
well.
do. Well, I do have a podcast called Coffee and Hustle, and I did that for fun. During COVID, a lot of my clients were stressing out, and I was like, wow, how do you do a podcast? Because if I can keep them talking, I can keep their nerves down. And some of my earlier podcasts were like, so
that's fine.
But they were like off the, it was just really off the cuff. It wasn't, there was
Love
no
that.
formalities for it. And it was like, I could see them, but we didn't do video because it made them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
And it was great. And I could see them at home, and they're like, and you could see the bees sweating and, but no one else could see that.
Nobody could see that.
And
Yeah,
then when
yeah.
they got off, they're like, wow, that's kind of cool.
Audio. Yeah,
So
that's good.
I do the Coffee and Hustle for fun. I don't do sponsorships for it. I don't sell things, but I thought about taking it more serious. I do get requests from people from all over the place now.
Wow.
Which is crazy. I'm like, this is insane now.
This
but that's
is the
cool. I can
power.
actually
Yeah.
record
Yeah, I
you.
love that. I
can-
love that.
I had my first international client podcast about a couple months ago. He was in England. And I'm like, this is pretty neat. So I'm blessed that that's happening. And then the side hustle that's completely different in the whole technical, geeky side of things, because I love being geeky.
I
I'm
love
so
that as well. You're in
nerdy.
the right
I
place.
love nerdy. But I bought a farm. I actually have a farm now. It's official.
It's
I've
official.
been working. I'm official business owner of a farm.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And I have a lavender farm. I'm growing lavender, and I took a chance this year. I was like, I'm going to see if I can do this. And it is done. Awesome. It is beautiful lavender. And now it's, how do I make products out of it?
Yeah.
And so I did my first show a couple weeks ago, and I was so happy. I was like,
I love that.
and you
What
can
are
eat it.
Doing with it? Just
You can eat it.
That's
really?
amazing.
It's a culinary lavender, and I wasn't expecting it to grow and bloom this year, and it just took off like crazy. I've got a quarter of an acre right now, and I'm going to be expanding it next year. I don't even know how I'm going to manage that.
Wow.
And so I've got a show this Saturday for my first real event outside in front of a lot of people for a festival. So I'm as I finish doing my day to day,
Yes.
I'm either out in the fields, cutting lavender, sweating it because it's supposed to be fall now. But
Supposed to be, but in Alabama they didn't get
it
the
is
memo.
hot as you know what. So I've got so many blooms, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
That's
It's
amazing.
beautifully blue, dark blues, and then I also have some that are white bloomed lavender before they come into their colors.
Yeah.
And I just stand out there and go smelling it, and I'm like rolling in it. But I'm learning something so new. But then I didn't realize how many people love lavender. So it's insane when I say I'm growing lavender, I'm doing a lavender farm. So then I decided to grow pumpkins.
Oh wow. That is priceless.
So I'm like, okay, this is crazy. So there's a whole side of me
really cool.
that is like with nature and
Yeah.
outside the city. I'm detoxing, and that has been the
that's
change
good.
in my life. That's been the change in my life. I'm like, what is the purpose of my company now?
Yeah.
And that's where the model of the one-stop shop just changed for me. I'm like, I don't want to be all these things,
Yeah.
because there are some people out there that do really great work in video photography and branding photography, and I don't want to be that person. I want to do your digital marketing. I want to do a marketing initiative for you.
Yeah.
I want to do your DIY.
Yeah.
I want to do your consulting. I'm going to come in and tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
And it's somewhat working for me. I put it on LinkedIn workshops, and
Nice.
so
That's
those
awesome.
so the evolution of my business is definitely changing, which makes me happy. And then I can go to a client and say, you know what, I'm going to give you a choice. Here's choice A, here's choice B. There is no C. And they're like, okay, I want A. I'm going to stay on.
And both of
I
those,
love that.
and regardless of what the client chooses, that enables you to still have the latitude and freedom to go back to the farm.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is what being business for yourself is all about.
Yes.
It
Yes.
enables you to do what really fulfills you.
Well, and also the blessing is to find the people. I have a young lady that works for me right now, and I'm teaching her the digital marketing.
Nice.
And she's like a faucet. She's just soaking
Soaking
it
it all
up.
up,
That's
right.
And I'm just like, okay, what more do you want? What more do you want?
I love that.
That is
And
really
then,
good.
so I'm empowering. I want to empower her,
That's awesome.
so that if down the line, I'm not going to be in this
I
business
know.
forever,
That's
Like,
it.
but I want
I
to
mean,
do something
it's
I love.
25 years.
25.
but
I think that's good enough.
That's good.
Yes, that is good.
Yeah.
That is
I've
really
done a
good.
lot of work. I've done a lot of work, and I'm like, I don't even remember all my case studies anymore. I'm like, I designed that. Oh, I forgot about that.
That
I
is
forgot about that.
priceless.
So now it's like, what do I want to do with my life?
Yeah. And
We're
what
gonna-
makes you happy?
We're going to absolutely have to have her back
Yes, thank
to
you.
talk about the farm.
Yeah.
No.
And looks like we need to
that's
buy
a-
some lavender.
Yeah, that's a whole other
I should have brought y'all
business.
some. I forgot.
A whole other business that sounds
Sorry.
really
Yeah,
interesting.
really
Like,
interesting.
really cool.
Very intrigued by that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I had coffee with my husband this morning, and I stood in the kitchen, and I was like, I feel very overwhelmed right now. And my mind was, I got up at 3:00 this morning, and I was like, I didn't feel accomplished. And I was like, okay, what can I get done today so I can take a break and mentally feel like I got things where I'm in control?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that when you're not in control, well, how do you get it back? And
where-
so,
yeah.
where you feel complete a little bit, where you don't feel so overwhelmed. And I think sometimes we let our thoughts get a control of us,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true.
and you're like, okay, how do I pull that back in? And
Wow.
yeah,
So many
it.
people needed to hear just that piece alone.
Yeah.
But there's just so many nuggets of wisdom all throughout this entire
I hope
conversation.
so. I hope so.
We
I would
cannot
say
thank you
so.
enough for coming through and hanging out with us.
thank
This
you.
has been
That's
phenomenal.
y'all. I'm honored.
We are
I
honored to
am
have
honored.
you.
I'm around some beautiful people here. I mean, there's the knowledge. I think the one thing that a lot of times is that even though you're in the room with people that are very similar to us, right, you can still be wonderful together,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
And you don't have to go,
I
well,
am
what is
all
she
for
doing?
that.
What am I doing?
me
What are
compete.
he's doing?
I'm all for it.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. You don't have to. Your spotlight doesn't steal from anybody else's,
No,
and that's a good place to
I'm
be.
I'm okay with that now.
I'm okay with that as
Me
well.
too.
I'm okay with that. I think that is, but you have to be okay with that.
You do need to
You
be.
can never be, and I think that you can't be intimidated by what other people think, and you can't be intimidated by those that are in the same room with you with the same things,
Yeah.
because we're all different.
You're all different.
different.
Yeah,
All
but we're
different.
good together.
I love that. I love that. Good together. We're
Different,
gonna-
but good
that's
together.
that's how we're gonna land right there. We are good together. Thank you so much for coming through and hanging
Y'all
out.
gonna
with
make me
us.
cry.
We don't want you to cry.
Thank you.
Thank you all for hanging out with us as well. We'll see you in a second. Man, there's
was really
a lot.
good.
There was a lot there.
I was still writing notes. Like, she talked about this. She talked about
Man,
this. She talked about a
man,
lot
she
of
talks
different
about a lot.
things.
She talks about a lot, but I mean, I think there's a recurring theme that she just kept on coming back to, which was, knowing where your boundaries are as a business, meaning you don't have to be all things that your clients want you to be.
That's true.
You don't have to provide all the services that they want you to provide.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to become that one-stop shop, essentially, right? You can say, I'm
This
gonna
is
bring in
what-
somebody
yeah,
for that.
yeah.
I'm gonna bring in somebody for this. There's somebody over there that does phenomenal work in that particular area, and when I pair it with what I do, we become a full service offering
Yes.
for this client's needs. And I think there's a lot of wisdom in that as
Yeah,
well.
definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we have tried to implement for
Yeah,
ourselves.
absolutely.
We know exactly what we are willing to do and what we're not willing to do.
And what we're not. But I don't want to, even though that was probably the major theme, there's some sub themes there that
Yeah.
were really
Yeah,
powerful.
She talked about the difference between a business owner and what an entrepreneur
Yeah,
is.
really good.
She talked about so many different
Yeah.
things. I'm trying to remember.
There's one in particular is, of course, knowing the worth, helping them, making sure making sure the
Yeah.
client is educated on knowing what the finish line looks like.
Yes.
Right. And I love using this phrase, referral based opportunities, because the opportunity is what you make of it. So if you get the DM for the big job, but you never check the DM, the social media, the plan, the marketing has done its job, but you just haven't followed
you've
up.
got to
You
do
didn't
your
make
part.
anything of the opportunity.
Yes.
So that's actually the purpose, not that you're making money. And so when she talked about, you're getting the bookings, she talked about the client she had to fire.
Yeah,
He's like, you're
but-
getting the bookings. I see the bookings.
But
the-
are you closing the client
That's
or
it.
the project?
That's it.
You've got to
You've
do
got
your
to close
part.
that. That's critical. And fully making sure the client understands this is the role we play in your overall,
Yeah.
I guess operations. But, but I think there's the education piece there as well.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I
making
think
sure that we're
you've-
clear.
Yeah, you've got to educate your client on what those expectations are, so they know ahead of time. Okay, this is what I should expect. This is what I'm going to get.
And I think another thing that I thought was a really interesting concept is maybe I'll say, as business owners, we need to take maybe do an inventory, maybe do an assessment. That's the term I'm looking for, of long-term business relationships. This is a client that she was working with for years.
That's true.
And I think that this probably happens more often than we realize, where clients recognize that they're getting ridiculous value
Yes.
from someone.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And so it's like, I'm going to keep them right here because I'm getting all of this
talked about that, yeah.
from this person, but I'm not increasing the budget. I'm not increasing, and we're not pouring anything else into that well because if I do, then I'm going to cut into my profit margin. And I think that we do need to assess that from time to
Yes,
time.
You do. And
Because-
realize I need to now increase my prices.
Yeah.
Everything else around us is increasing.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
should naturally be checking at the end of every
Yeah.
year. Am I at a place where I need to now increase my pricing? And I think a lot of people don't do that.
And that's-
And you need to do that.
This is so good. In fact, we might need to use this for another, like a resource of the week. This is the
yes.
time of the year. This is the time of the
Fourth
year.
quarter.
This is the time of the year for you to reassess your pricing, for you to
Yeah.
reassess what your fees are, what your fee structure is. You need to start checking in with your long-term clients when
maybe even
contracts are
in
coming
the
up.
third quarter,
Yeah.
because in the fourth
Yeah.
quarter is when you're actually supposed to implement those
implement those
changes,
changes.
because you've got them prepared in the
Yeah.
third quarter that
Yeah.
this is what you should be expecting in the next year.
That's good.
We will be increasing our prices, and then in the fourth quarter, send out that contract, those invoices for them to now
This is business.
pay that.
This is what
new
business
fee.
is all about.
Yeah.
Understanding the ebb and flow, understanding the roller coaster. What are some of the things that are happening over the course of the year? What does your calendar look like? What are those busy seasons? What
Yeah.
are those seasons where you're doing the re-up, where contracts are coming to a close, and you now need to start looking at whether or not they're going to sign back up again. And if they aren't, this is one of the things I had a client recently that decided to not re-up. For what we provide him on a month-to-month basis. And it's funny, he made the decision to not come back, but I had to be the one to kind of walk him through an entire offboarding process, because otherwise he wouldn't have had all the assets for his
That's
shows. He
true.
wouldn't have had all the
Yeah.
things that he needed to be able to continue on by himself. And it's because of us having that thing defined, why he was able to actually step
Yeah.
out on his own and do it successfully. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had anything.
Yeah,
And I
so-
think that's critical, not just onboarding, but offboarding.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the fact that you actually would think about how you would offboard a client, it could even change their mind. Like,
Like,
wait,
yeah,
wait,
you know
wait,
what?
I'm gonna stay on.
Yeah, you know what?
Or
you know
they would even tell someone else, like, yo, I
Man.
had the greatest experience with this
Yeah.
business. Like,
Yes.
hey, you got to think about all of
Come
those things.
on.
That's good. Offboarding a client.
Offboarding a client. Oh,
That's good, y'all.
they walk away with the documents of the assets. I mean, I gave him an entire folder of all the thumbnails we'd ever done, all the
Yes,
flyers, all the
everything.
overlays, the videos, the bumper videos, all
that's
those
good.
things. And when he looked at it, he even responded back. His assistant responded as well, saying, "Man, I didn't realize we
All
had
of
done all
that.
of that work." And I
That's
was
good.
like basically just sharing, we'll hold on to them for like 60 days, and then we'll probably archive them for another 120 days, and then we'll permanently delete them. So we want to make sure you get a copy of them. But
That's good.
that whole process
So,
just kind of lets them know, like, man, this was done with care. This was done
Yeah.
with intentionality. This was done not haphazard,
Yeah.
not by chance, but
With the client
Yeah.
in mind.
Yeah.
Because it could have been, you could have even been like,
yeah.
well,
Oh, you're not using me
it was-
anymore?
that was
Well, your
great.
show's gonna die.
You're good to go. Bye.
No, I actually
No.
want to see his show
Want to be
succeed
successful.
long after
Yes.
I step away from it. I check in on his show
Yeah.
from time to time. I checked in on
awesome.
his show on this past Wednesday
Oh,
and just kind of
wow.
commented, and he stopped what he was doing. He was like, "Oh my goodness, Kirk
That
is here."
awesome.
So I just
love that.
Yeah, that's
really good.
building relationships. Building
Yeah,
relationships.
because even though
yeah.
they have said no to your business, doesn't mean that you just need to toss them to the side.
No.
You can then still show them that you
Yeah.
know you are still interested in them.
Absolutely.
And they might come back.
And they
You
might come
never
back.
know.
I mean, he may be doing his regular show, but he may have like a big conference or something
You
like that
never
where he'll be
know.
like,
He'll
"Hey,
be
Kirk,"
like, yeah.
Or if he wants to redo his studio, I can almost guarantee you that business
Yeah.
is going to be ours. So those are some of the things, man. Just thinking through that whole life cycle of the client and what you want to offer and provide as a business. If you don't
Yes.
want to be the one-stop shop, what are some of the wraparound services and skill sets you need to have in your Rolodex so that you can be a one-stop for the client?
Oh yeah.
You don't necessarily have to provide all of it, but you don't want them going around
True.
searching for people that you don't want to work with.
Yes.
You
And
wanna-
then you have already vetted those other
Exactly.
businesses, so you can just
Exactly.
bring them into
Exactly.
whatever project you're working on.
Listen, and nothing wrong with putting another line item on the invoice.
I know.
And then just
And
paying
then
that
just
other business.
add a
That way
little
it's just a
cushion, a little
seamless.
extra for
Come
yourself.
on,
Come on,
come on.
people.
This is too much. All right, we
about
done
it.
with y'all now. Now we're giving too much. But no, this was a good one. This was a great discussion. We went a little over time, but that's okay. We're excited for next week as well. Who do we have on the couch?
I don't want to tell y'all.
Okay.
We're gonna leave it as a
All right,
surprise.
we'll leave it as a surprise.
because we're gonna mix things up a bit
Okay.
in regards to the order. Of
We
things,
we
so.
have recorded.
Yes,
we have
we
had
have.
the interviews, but we are going to, I guess, keep
Yeah,
that. A secret.
we'll
I like
see.
that. I like
We'll
it.
see.
I like it. But family, listen. We always love that you are here. Always love that you come through and hang out with us. We always want to make sure you know what Incubators Couch is all about and what it's for. Unscripted, vulnerable conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners just like you. And this is done by Composition LLC. This whole production is done by us, the Composition. The video, the graphics, the websites, the podcast, all of
Yes,
it.
all
It's
of
all
it.
done by us. And we would love to be able to engage with you around that as well. If you have a project that you want to launch, whether it's web, whether it's video, whether it's a web show, live show, or if you want to put together a strategy so that you can be top of mind, tip of tongue, so people can know, like, and trust your business and have you be the go-to resource for your particular industry. Those are things we love doing, and we wanted to leave you with that tonight. Yeah.
that's it.
Know your business, know your boundaries, know what it is you want to do, and don't do anything else. You have that freedom. You have that permission
that freedom.
in business. Family, be blessed. We'll see you around these internet streets or in the next video. Later.